The letters, according to the sequence, sometimes called the dotted or distinguished letters, huruful mu'jam, are alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, dal, ذال را زاي سين شين صاد ضاد طاء ظاء عين غين فاء قاف كاف لام ميم نون هاء واو ياء lam alif. So we started with alif, and then at the end we have lam alif. So let's explain that here. This first letter, when it has that character written on top, that's called a hamza. The whole letter is called hamza. When it has the character written on top, which is that the miniature head of an ayn, that's a hamza, not an alif actually. Inshallah, we'll come back to talk about that. This same hamza is sometimes written on a waw, and it's sometimes written on a ya, and it's sometimes written by itself, just sitting on the line. So whether it's written on an alif, or a waw, or a ya, or if it's just sitting on the line all by itself, it's called hamza. Now, when it's written on an alif like this, although it's really a hamza, you can still call it alif because it looks like an alif. Or you can call it alif yabisa. Alif yabisa. That means dry alif. As for at the end, when we say lam alif, the reason for that at the end is to recognize the extension letter, which is the true alif that is not a hamza. The true alif that's not a hamza is called alif layyina, soft alif. And this alif layina always has to have another letter in front of it. That's why they have lam alif, because you can never have a true alif, which is an extended vowel, without a letter in front of it. So since the lam and the alif frequently appear together, the scholars chose to select the lam to go along with the alif when listing the letters like this. So really, if we want to count lam alif at the end, then the way to read the letters would be like this. Hamza, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, until the end. When you get to the end, ha, waw, ya, lam alif. Instead of saying alif in the beginning and then lam alif at the end. Really, if you're going to say lam alif at the end, then say hamza at the beginning. And I didn't start like that just not to be confusing at first. If you don't want to count lam alif at the end, then at the beginning you can just start by saying alif. And that includes alif and hamza. Yahya ibn Ya'mar, the pious scholarly follower of the companions, was the first to dot the letters in the book of the Quran. So these letters, or the letters according to the sequence sometimes called the dotted or distinguished letters, huruful mu'jam, are these letters. The first one to dot these letters was Yahya ibn Ya'mar. He did that for the sake of the Mus'haf, for reading the Quran, and then it spread through the Arabic language. And all of these letters are called huruful mu'jam, the dotted letters or the distinguished letters, even though some of them don't have dots. And that's just a way of naming all of them according to the quality of some of them. Also known as the alif-ba sequence, at-tartib al-alif-ba'i. This is the sequence of likes and similars. Tartib al-ashbahi wal-nazair, which is the arrangement of Nasr ibn Asim. What that means is that this sequence that we see here that we're talking about, it has three names. We already mentioned one name, Huruf al-Mu'jam. It's also called at-Tartib al-Alif-Ba'i, the Alif-Ba sequence. And it's also called Tartib al-Ashbahi wal-Nazair, the sequence of likes and similars. That's because when this arrangement was done by Nasr ibn Asim, he did this to make it easier. We'll see, inshallah, what was the original sequence of the Arabic letters. He wanted to make it easier, so he put the letters that resemble each other next to each other. The original sequence has the letters scattered. We see the original sequence called at-Tartib al-Abjadi. That's Abjad Hawaz Hutti Kalimun or Kalaman Sta'fas Tarushat Thakhazun Davaghun. If you want, memorize that. It's very helpful. You don't know how that will help you someday, and it will, inshallah, so memorize that. It starts with alif and then ba, but then it goes to jeen and then dal. So what did Nasr ibn Asim do? He took the alif, he said, okay, that's number one. Took the ba, said, okay, that's number two. But where's the next letter that's like ba? Ta. So he took ta and brought it to the front. Said, oh, where's tha? Tha, took that, brought it to the front. So then alif, ba, ta, tha. Then he said, okay, here we have jim. Okay, what's like jim? Ha. So he took the ha, brought it to the front. Kha. Took it, brought it to the front. So, okay, what's next? Dal. So this is a dal and then dal. The ha and the wow, he put them towards the end. Maybe because they don't have any similar. It makes sense if he's trying to put all the letters that are similar together. Push them to the back. And so in the end, we wound up with that sequence that we're discussing now. At-Tartib al-Alif-Ba'i. All right? Any question about that?